Hello and welcome to another GCSE revision video. In this video we're going to be looking at fractions and percentages. Okay, I think percentages become really easy to understand once we know that the word percent actually means out of 100. It's from the Latin per meaning out of and cent meaning 100. So just knowing that the word percent means out of 100, it makes converting fractions as it makes converting percents into fractions a bit of a no-brainer when you think about it, because percents actually are fractions. They're a special type of fraction where the denominator is 100. So 25% means 25 out of 100, or 25 over 100, or 25 divided by 100. There are a number of percentages that you can get by in life without knowing them, but it's just so much easier in life if you just know them. It can save you a lot of calculations. 10% is a tenth, 25% is a quarter, 50% is a half. That's probably the most important one to just know. 50% is a half. 20% is a fifth, 75% is 3/4, 100% is the whole thing. In an exam, just knowing those easy percents can just make the question a lot easier to understand and a lot quicker to do. Also, in real life, you might come across these percentages quite often, and they do make mental arithmetic quite a bit easier. So converting percentages to fractions really is as easy as it sounds, because percentages are already fractions. So 25% just means 25 out of 100, or 25 over 100. So then it's just a case of simplifying like we would simplify any fraction by finding the prime factors and eliminating any common factors. Going the other way and converting fractions to percentages, well, you could just do what's intuitive, and that's figure out how to make the denominator into 100. So all you do is multiply the denominator by 100 over the denominator. So if we have 3/4, we just multiply the denominator by 100 over 4, remembering that whatever we do to the denominator, we must also do to the numerator, so we have to times the numerator by 100 over 4. And then we just simplify it by doing the division. So if we're multiplying 3 by 100 over 4, that gives us 300 over 4, which simplifies to 75. And of course we've already made the denominator into 100, and since a fraction over 100 is already a percentage, so 3/4 is 75%. The other way people do it is simply to divide the numerator by the denominator. In other words, to convert the fraction into a decimal. So 3/4 is 0.75, which they then multiply by 100 and express the answer as a percentage. So 0.75 times 100, move the decimal point 2 places to the right, becomes 75. And of course, if you've multiplied by 100, you must also divide by 100 to keep the number the same. And they do that by putting the percentage sign after the number. So 3/4 is 0.75, which is the same as 75%. Okay, so which way should you use? Well, if you think about it, it really doesn't matter. Once you've made the denominator equal to 100, if you look at the numerator, you're effectively doing the same thing. When we did it the last time, what we did was take the 3 and multiplied it by 100 over 4, but that's just the same thing as taking the 3, dividing by 4, and then multiplying by 100. So either way, you're going to get the same result. I think if you just divide the numerator by the denominator and multiply the result by 100, it's going to take up less space on your exam paper, and it's going to be quicker. Use the more intuitive method of expressing your taking your 3/4 as a fraction and just remembering that a percentage is out of 100, so make the denominator into 100. If you forget that, you can just divide the numerator by the denominator and multiply the result by 100. Okay, well, so much for the theory. Let's have a go at putting that into practice. Let's pick a random number, let's say, I don't know, 18. 18%, and let's express that as a fraction. Well, by definition, that's just 18 over 100, because that's what percent means. And now all we do is simplify it. So 18 we can express as 2 times 9, which is the same as 2 times 3 times 3. So that's 2 times 2 lots of 3, which is 3 squared. And that's divided by 100, which is 10 times 10. So that's 2 times 5 times 2 times 5. So that's 2 squared times 5 squared. So the only thing they have in common is a 2. So that means we've got 9 on the numerator and 50 on the denominator, because 25 times 2 is 50. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Let's have a go at another one. Okay, let's pick something a little bit difficult. I remember that we used to have VAT in this country at 17.5%. So let's choose something like 17.5% and express that as a fraction. Well, the first thing we can do is say that that's equal to 17.5 over 100. And so we need to get rid of this half on the top, and the easiest way to do that is to multiply the numerator by 2. So 17 times 2 is 34, a half times 2 is 1, so that's 35. So that if we multiply the numerator by 2, we need to multiply the denominator by 2, so that's 35 over 200. And I'll reduce that to its prime factors. 35 is equal to 5 times 7, and 200 is equal to 2 times 100, which is 10 times 10, which we know is 2 squared times 5 squared, so that's going to be 2 cubed times 5 squared. One of those 5's will cancel with this 5, so that's equal to 7 on the numerator. So we've got 2 cubed, which is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. So 17.5% is 7 over 40. Okay, let's try going the other way. Okay, let's actually see if we can start off with our 7/40ths and see if we can get back to 17.5%. Okay, well, the easiest way to do this is to divide the 7 by the 40. So we've got 7 and we're dividing by 40. Obviously that won't go. So we put a 0 in. 40 will go into 70 once, because 2 times 40 is 80. So 1 times 40 is 40. Take that away and that leaves us with 30. We need to put in another 0. Bring that down. So how many times will 40 go into 300? Well, 7 times 4 is 28, which is as close as we can get to 30 without going over. So that's going to be a 7. So 7 times 40 is going to be 280. And we take that away and that leaves 20. 40 won't go into 20, so we put another naught in, bring down the other naught. So 40 goes into 200 5 times, because 5 times 4 is 20. And of course when you subtract that you end up with nothing. So our answer is 0.175. And 0.175 times 100 is equal to, we take the decimal point, move it 2 places to the right, which is equal to 17.5. So 7 over 40 is equal to 17.5%. Okay, let's take one more fraction. Let's say 2/3. And we want to convert that to a fraction. So we're dividing 2 by 3. Well, 2's into 3 won't go. 0 times 3 is 0. Take the way that leaves 2. Put in the decimal points. Bring down the 0. 3's into 20. Well, 7 times 3 is 21, so 6 is the highest number we can get without going over. So 6 times 3 is 18. Take that away, that leaves 2. Bring down the 0. And what have we got? 3's into 20 again. So we know that's going to be 6. 6 times 3 is 18, and guess what we're going to end up with? We're going to end up with another 20. So this is a recurring decimal. So we've got 0.6666666666 recurring. So 2/3, if we multiply by 100, 0.66666 recurring is equal to, times by 100, that's 66.666 recurring. So 2/3 is equal to 66.666%. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Why don't you have a go at picking some random fractions and converting them to percentages, and pick some random percentages and convert them to fractions. And I'll see you in the next video.